I don't usually get emotional talking about strangers. I really don't. I've heard a lot of stories in my life. Sad ones, hard ones. Ones that made me pause for a second and then move on with my day. But this one stopped me completely cold. And I've been sitting with it for days now, trying to figure out how to tell it to you in a way that does it justice. So I'm just going to tell it the way I felt it. Raw, honest, no filter. There is a woman, 94 years old. Every single evening, without fail, she walks out to her porch, lowers herself into her old rocking chair, wraps both hands around a warm cup of tea, and she sits there, just sits there, watching the birds, watching the light change, watching the sun go down slow, the way it only does in the evening when the whole world seems to exhale. And when you first see her, when you first hear about her, your immediate thought is, wow, what a peaceful life. You think, she must have had it easy. She must have been lucky. She must have had the kind of life where things just worked out. But then you find out the truth. And the truth? The truth is almost too heavy to hold. Almost every single person she has ever loved is already gone. Not one or two, not a few here and there, the way loss usually spreads across a long life. All of them. Her mother, gone. Her father, gone. 3 sisters, all 3 of them, gone. The husband she shared a bed with for decades. The man whose coffee cup she washed every morning. The man whose snoring used to drive her crazy and whose silence now fills every room. Gone. And her best friend Dot. Oh, Dot. They met when they were young girls, grew up together, cried together at each other's weddings, held each other's babies, sat at each other's kitchen tables for 60 years, talking about everything and nothing and everything again. Dot. The one person who knew every version of her. The young version, the lost version, the angry version, the hopeful version, gone too. And she is the last one sitting, the absolute last one, on that porch, in that chair, with that cup of tea, alone. Now I want you to really sit with that for a second, because I think most of us, when we imagine that kind of loss, we imagine collapse. We imagine someone who stopped functioning, someone who pulled the curtains closed and never really came back. Most people would break under that weight. I think I would. I think most of us would. Most people would lie in bed and ask God, why me? Why am I the one still here? What was the point of all of it? But not her. Not Opal June. She did something that I find almost impossible to fully understand, and completely impossible not to admire. She got quiet. Not the quiet of giving up, the quiet of someone who has decided to pay attention. She got curious, and she started watching. Watching the way a scientist watches, or the way a detective watches, piecing things together, looking for the pattern that everyone else around her was too close to see. And she found it. She actually found it. The thread that connected every single person she loved, who left before they should have. And here is what made her stop breathing when she finally saw it clearly. It wasn't cancer. It wasn't some unavoidable disease that came out of nowhere and took them without warning. It wasn't accidents. It wasn't tragedy in the dramatic sense, the kind of loss that makes sense in a terrible way, because at least you can point to it. It was none of that. It was something so ordinary, so quiet, so completely embedded in the fabric of everyday life that nobody, not one of them, ever thought to question it. It was habits, small ones, daily ones, the kind that feel so harmless you forget they're even happening. Her husband, the man she loved for decades, he had a recliner, an old thing, comfortable, his spot. And from the time he retired, he lived in that chair, morning to night, got up to eat, got up to use the bathroom, and went right back, day after day, month after month, year after year. She used to tease him about it, used to say, "You're going to turn into that chair one day." He'd laugh, wave her off. He was gone at 71. And her best friend Dot had a habit too, the habit of waiting. Every time they talked, every single phone call, Dot would say, "One day, Opal, one day when we're both retired, we're going to sit on that beach together, just the two of us, watch the ocean, do nothing, just sit there and do absolutely nothing. One day, one day, one day, one day." For years they said it. One day never came. Dot never made it to the beach. And her sister, her youngest sister, Loretta did her wrong. I don't know exactly what happened between them, and honestly, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it was the kind of wrong that rewrites how you see a person, the kind that sits in your chest like a stone you swallowed and never quite passed. And Opal, she cut her off. 15 years. 15 years of silence. 15 years of not answering the phone when Loretta's name appeared. 15 years of carrying that hurt like it was something precious. Like letting it go would mean what happened didn't matter. And Loretta was living her life just fine, sleeping just fine, laughing just fine, completely fine, while Opal carried the stone, while Opal let the poison sit in her body every single day. And it cost her sister something too, in the end. It always costs everyone something. The ones who hold on the longest always pay the highest price. And Opal, she watched every single one of them go, felt every single loss, carried every single grief. And instead of closing, she opened. Instead of becoming bitter, she became honest. And she made a decision that most of us, if we're really telling the truth, are too comfortable, too distracted, or too stubborn to make. She started letting things go. Not the big, dramatic things. Not some huge life overhaul that made headlines or changed everything overnight. Just the quiet things, the small things, the everyday things that had been sitting in her life for so long she'd stopped noticing them. One by one, slowly, over years, she just let them go. And I'm telling you this story today, not because it's interesting, although it is, but because I genuinely believe with everything in me that somewhere inside what this woman lived through, there is something that belongs to your life, something with your name on it. Maybe you have your own California, a dream you've been holding in your back pocket for so long, the paper's gone soft at the folds. A trip, a conversation, a thing you've always wanted to do. And every year you say, next year, when things settle down, when I have more time, when the moment is right. The moment keeps not being right, and the years keep going. Maybe you have your own Loretta, someone you're still punishing with your silence, someone you think about more than you'd admit, someone whose name still tightens something in your chest, and you've been telling yourself that the tightness is anger. But if you got really honest, really still, you'd know it's grief. And the silence isn't hurting them, it's eating you, quietly, every day. Like rust on something that used to be strong. Or maybe, and I say this with all the kindness I have, maybe you have your own recliner, a comfort zone so familiar, so warm, so perfectly shaped to the outline of your life exactly as it is, that you've stopped noticing it's the reason you haven't moved in years. And if any of that landed, if even one word of what I just said made something in your chest feel a little tight, then please, don't scroll past this. This channel exists for exactly this. Not the flashy stuff, not the content that gets loud to get noticed. The real stuff, the honest stuff, the stories that find you when you need them most. So subscribe right now, hit that bell icon so you never miss a story like this one. Because I promise you, we're just getting started. And share this right now with one person in your life who you think needs to hear this today. You know exactly who that person is. The name already came to you. Send it to them. Because some stories were never meant to be carried alone. Alright, now let's get into it. Because what this woman stopped doing, the 7 specific things she let go of, one by one, across her long, quiet life, will genuinely change the way you see the time you have left.